10 Great Watches Under $200. Today, I'm gonna share with you my favorite affordable automatic watches. When you think about automatic watches, you typically think expensive watches, $500 or more. And while it's true, there are some gems that don't break the bank and still look incredible. I have picked 10 great options, between $80 and $200. Here are the best automatic watches under $200. 1. Seiko Sneak 805. You'll see more than one Seiko watch in this list. For a reason. Seiko manufactures a lot of great affordable automatic watches. And that probably comes down to the attention to detail that went into creating this design. Simple, yet striking sword hands, probably the most precise hand set available ever. Big Arabic numerals in 5 minutes increments. Hours indices on the inner part of the dial. And this is no accident. This is a full-fledged pilot watch, complete with a super legible dial, no-nonsense case. And a small 30 m of water resistance. Most pilot watches have a case size of 42 plus m. Being smaller, this one will fit any wrist up to 7.5 inches in circumference. 2. Invicta Pro Diver 8926 OB. This design will probably ring a bell. That's because this Invicta Pro Diver is an affordable homage to the Rolex Submariner. You might not like the brand engraved on the side of the case, but seriously, this dive watch is as good as it gets, with 200 m of water resistance, and a screw-down crown. A fully aligned 120-click bezel. You don't always get this on affordable dive watches. A hacking and handing winding Seiko movement. But this is no deal breaker to me, because the build quality and value for money is excellent. 3. Vostok Amphibian Scuba Dude 710059. This Vostok Amphibian 710059 is affectionately called the Scuba Dude, because of the drawing on the dial. To me, the most striking feature of this dial is that beautiful turquoise color, something you almost never see on dive watches. Now, it certainly doesn't look like your typical diver, but that doesn't mean it isn't one. In fact, it features 200 m of water resistance, a screw-down crown with a safety and shock-absorbing mechanism when unscrewed. Maybe you're not too impressed with these features, but remember, this watch costs less than $100, which is very affordable when you consider the military history behind this piece. 4. Seiko Sneak 355. When it comes to sheer value for money, you just can't beat Seiko 5, specifically their smaller 37 m models. After all, it only has 30 m of water resistance, a rattly folded metal bracelet, and a movement that doesn't hack or handwind. But look closer, and you'll see just how great it is. The case size and shape is one of the best case you can have for the money. It's well finished, it looks great, and it hugs the wrist, whatever your wrist circumference. It has an understated and timeless design. You'll be able to dress it up or down no problem, making for a perfect everyday watch. The dial has a textured pattern made of small Seiko 5 logos throughout. It's great to see this kind of detail on such an affordable piece. 5. Orient Mako 2. The Orient brand may not ring a bell, but it's actually part of the Seiko Epson Corporation. So you immediately get a watch from a serious, reputable brand, while still flying under the radar for the vast majority of people, which I always like. Now, with the Mako, you're getting a lot of watch for the money. Not only is it somewhat of a Rolex Explorer alternative, but it's also packed with great specs, which is pretty impressive for the price. 200 m of water resistance with a screw-down crown. A hacking and hand-winding in-house automatic movement. A 120-click bezel with a lumbed pip. Add the small lug-to-lug distance and curved case shape, and you have a watch that wears incredibly well on a large range of wrist sizes. 6. Seiko Recraft SNKP 27. The case shape and color of this incredible Seiko is a super refreshing throwback to the 70s. You just don't see this kind of design around all that much. The Recraft series from Seiko is full of vintage-inspired designs, but I think the best of the bunch is this SNKP 27. Not for the specs after all, it has very average features like 50 meters of water resistance, a non-hacking and non-hand-winding movement, a pretty bland, albeit suiting, leather strap. But the dial and overall design is something you just can't ignore. It looks amazing. 7. Fossil Privateer BQ 2210. Most fossil automatic watches have skeletonized dials. Calling them busy and illegible is an understatement. And being labeled as a fashion brand, Fossil doesn't get a lot of love from watch enthusiasts either. It's full of interesting design details that make this watch very desirable. Most of the movement is concealed behind a dial with Côtes de Genève, a movement decoration you never see on affordable watches. The hour and minutes hand live in a simple yet striking subdial again, something you can only get with high-end pieces. The bezel features a Claus de Paris pattern that you don't often get to see on a sub-$200 watch, making this watch ride the fine line between casual and dressy. Now, if you look closely at the chapter ring, you'll see the most enjoyable design feature this watch has to offer. 8. Swatch System Clouds Suta 401. Bet you didn't think of Swatch for a list of automatic watches, did you? Now, thanks to their ETA brand, Swatch makes and sells automatic movements to other brands. But when they create an automatic movement for themselves, they build it with a twist, just like their watches. The System 51 movement featured in this Swatch is actually full of innovations. The entire movement, displaying the hour, minute, second and date, only needs 51 parts, hence the name. It's the first and only mechanical movement to be fully assembled by robots. All the parts are held together by a single screw. It has a crazy long 90-hour power reserve. 9. Citizen NH8388. Almost all their sub-$200 automatic watches feature the Eco Drive technology, a solar quartz movement. But while I love the practicality and accuracy of a quartz movement, they simply didn't qualify. The New Hampshire 8388 is a hidden affordable stunner in Citizen's catalog. Now, it's not a pure dive watch, as it only has 100 m of water resistance. So if you're willing to let that go, then take a closer look at this beast. The large arrow on the hour hand, the bright orange minute hand and the simple hour markers make reading the time a breeze. It has a fully functional uni-directional rotating bezel. The crown at 4 o'clock won't poke in the back of your wrist. That last point doesn't look like something you need, until you realize this is a 46 m watch. Yes, it's big. 10. Orient Bambino V5. Orient manufactures so many Bambinos the series could be a brand on its own. Read. There are dozens of colorways and dial combinations available. When it comes to the main feature, it sports an in-house automatic movement that hacks and handwinds, complete with a date function. And at 40.5 m, it's great for wrist sizes from 6.5 inches and above. Now, I really want to shed the light on the design of this watch. I think Orient absolutely nailed it. The subdued blue dial makes it a perfect casual and business watch. It's a perfect everyday watch you can easily dress up or down. It's a great Seiko cocktail time alternative, if your budget is limited, or Daniel Wellington alternative, if you don't want to get a watch from a fashion brand. The simple hand set and hour markers make for a great combination that will never go out of style. While I love most Orient Bambinos, I think there's nothing quite like a simple, straightforward dial, with no numerals, gold plating or useless complication. If you liked the video, then give it a huge thumbs up, and also don't forget to like the video and share it. Subscribe our channel and leaves a comment in the comment section below this video if you find this video informative. Stay tuned with us for until the next video. Bye bye.